Welcome to Purposely Peaceful. I'm your host, Jessica Rivera, a licensed marriage and family therapist and a quantum hypnosis practitioner. This podcast is where real life meets inner peace. You'll get honest conversations, practical tools, and soulful guidance to help you live with more clarity, calm, and purpose. Let's dive in. Welcome back. Today, I want to talk about what it really means to step into your highest potential and why it's something you need to actively live, not just hope for. I believe that the path to becoming purposely peaceful means that we are being led from within ourselves to become our highest potential. You've probably heard the phrase, step into your highest potential 1,000 times, right? It's on vision boards, it's in Instagram captions, but what does it actually mean? Let me share what it means to me. Your highest potential isn't about just achieving more. It's not about building the dream career, manifesting the big house, or checking all the boxes the world says matter. No, your highest potential is about living in full alignment with the truest, most whole version of yourself, spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. It's the version of you that's not ruled by fear, old beliefs, or other people's expectations. It's the you that acts from inner peace, not panic or pressure, leads from trust, not control, creates from truth, not comparison, loves from worthiness, not wounds. It's the version of you who doesn't settle because she knows she's here for more, and not in a performative way, but in a grounded, soul-led, nothing to prove kind of way. I'll be real with you. Your highest potential isn't a destination you just hit one day and call it done. It's a state you keep stepping into. Every time you choose healing over hiding, every time you trust your gut instead of your guilt, every time you pause and ask, what would the most peaceful, powerful version of myself do right now? That's when she shows up. When I talk about helping people access their highest potential, I'm not trying to turn you into someone new. I'm helping you return to who you've always been before the world told you to shrink. And that version of you, she's already in there. So let's bring her out. In many ways, this is similar to what some people understand about their higher self, our spiritual self that is expressed through the best version of us in this physical reality. Your higher self and your highest potential are one and the same in the sense that they both want what is best for you. Think of them as partners, one in the essence of who you are, and the other is what can be made manifest in the here and now. It's about holding space for the most successful, loving, and purposeful parts of you to fully exist. It's not about waiting for that version of you to show up one day. It's about embodying her now. I had a philosophy professor in college, and I just can't remember his name right now, but this story he shared has stuck with me over the years, and he shared that he became a philosophy teacher because of his love of teaching. But somewhere along the way, he learned that he loved welding and creating. He started doing this as a hobby, making things for fun. One day, he created a light fixture for a friend, which ended up getting noticed by someone else. Long story short, that led to him being commissioned to do the light fixtures for an entire hotel. And here's the thing, over time, he was making more money from welding than from teaching. And yet he did both because both were born from passion. This balance brought him happiness. He taught me that you don't have to choose just one thing. You can embrace multiple passions and still thrive. That story planted the belief that I too could wear many different hats and still live a life full of purpose. I could be present for my children while also being fulfilled in my work. It wasn't an overnight journey, but at that time, it sparked something inside of me. I realized that life doesn't have to follow the rules that we were taught. It's not about picking just one career or choosing between work and family. Life can be about balance, and we're the ones who get to create it. This philosophy challenged me to think about what I wanted my life to look like before it even started. It pushed me to set the building blocks for my dream life. I still do this now, and I ask myself all the time, what does future me need to do now to get there? I'm laying the groundwork for the life I've envisioned. Am I there yet? No, not necessarily, but this could also be a lifelong journey. What matters is that I'm not afraid to make bold choices and move forward with what feels right at the moment. It doesn't matter if I'm there yet because I'm centered on maintaining my peace while doing it. That's the path that I'm choosing for myself. And there's no fun in challenging yourself if you're stressed out of your mind. So I'm choosing the path of peace. It just feels like I'm doing whatever my higher self wants me to do, like this podcast. You might be wondering, how does she know what her higher self wants for her? Well, let me tell you about one of my clients. Let's call her Tracey. She spent most of her life living for everyone else, her family, her parents, her boyfriend. By her late 20s, she had little to no control over her life. The voices of others were so loud, she stopped hearing herself. The pressure to meet everyone's expectations became too much, and everything snapped. And when you're stressed, being pulled in different directions by people you love, you don't realize how far you've gone off track until you're in the thick of it. The pressure, the anxiety, the stress, it all built up, pushing her to her breaking point. This was her subconscious mind screaming for a timeout. She ended up having a psychotic episode, but I'd argue it wasn't just that. It was an awakening to her truth. Tracey shared with me a vision of herself, so pure, beautiful, loving, confident, and radiant, and in her power. She called this version of herself Purple Tracey. She described being taken into outer space, where she saw a glowing galaxy of vibrant purple light, one of the most beautiful things that you could imagine. There is where she met Purple Tracey, someone who looked just like her but was completely different in essence. Purple Tracey was an inspiration. For years, we talked about Purple Tracey, who became the anchor of her truth. Purple Tracey represented the potential Tracey had within her, the version of herself that was always there but had been lost and buried under the weight of others' expectations. This process wasn't easy or quick, but it was a beautiful journey of getting her life back. In hindsight, the vision of Purple Tracey was a glimpse into her higher self, the highest version of who she could become. Stepping into your highest potential can sometimes be slow, but it's a transformative process. But when it happens, it's like awakening to who you've always been, who you were always meant to be. Tracey went from being completely controlled to finding her freedom and creating a life on her own terms. The truth is, our higher self, our subconscious mind, is always guiding us, even when we're not listening. Sometimes extreme situations do happen, like what Tracey went through. And that's what it takes to get our attention. It snaps us out of autopilot and shows us that we're meant for more. We all have the capacity to be our highest potential, and our potential can grow and evolve with us. But to do that, we have to trust ourselves. We have to have enough confidence to make decisions that move us closer to who we are and who we're meant to be. Yes, there's a little bit of risk involved, but there's different kinds of risk. For example, my husband and I made the bold decision to move back to our home state. It wasn't a decision we took lightly, it kind of sort of didn't even make sense, but we knew that it was necessary for the next phase of our lives. We called in our support network in our village and we trusted our intuition. We were willing to risk our comfort temporarily for the chance to live more intentionally. And because of that, I've been keeping my parents on their toes with my bold and risky choices for a really long time now. And honestly, I think they've probably given up trying to predict what I'm going to do next, but that's the beauty of stepping into your highest potential. You don't always know what it's going to look like, but you have to trust that it's worth it. So how do we access our highest potential? First and foremost, dream. Do you remember when you were a child and you had all these dreams about who you were going to be in the world? What about now? Do you ever dream about starting a business or taking a college program or pursuing something big, but then life got in the way? I challenge you today. Start to hope and dream again. Life is long, so make the most of it. Here's something that you can try. Imagine for 5 minutes what your life could look like without any fear, anxiety, or limitations. Let your mind wander and process what comes up. What jumps out at you? What stood out in your vision? For me, one of the things that came up was writing a book. And at first I thought, whoa, that's a big step. It seems kind of scary. But I didn't overthink the how or when. I just let the thought marinate without putting pressure on myself to figure it out right away. And you might need support along the way, and that's totally fine. I do this a lot. I reach out to people who can help or support me through something that I'm not really familiar with. Once you've dreamed big, the next step is to reverse engineer it and ask yourself, what is the first step I could take to get there? For me, I got to start writing. So I started writing blogs and sharing my thoughts. And it doesn't have to be a big leap. Sometimes it's just about getting started. And I'm not doing this for anyone else. I'm doing this for myself, for my growth. And little by little, as you stay focused, more steps will appear. You'll start experiencing synchronicities, hearing the same phrase from different people or in different places. The path unfolds when you walk it. The key is to keep moving forward. Movement toward your dreams comes from those who stay focused and take action. It doesn't have to be a perfect plan, it just has to be a plan that keeps moving. Not every dream has to be big and grand, but if you're feeling like you're meant to do something more, go for it. I often hear from my clients that they don't know what they want, or they've never allowed themselves to dream beyond what they know now. And being in survival mode does that to us. But more about that some other time. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, well, what if I'm a bad person? What if I've done bad things? What if big dreams and stepping into my highest potential aren't for me? I get it. It's easy to believe that your past mistakes, choices, or the things that you've done wrong define who you are and who you're allowed to be in life. But here's the truth. Your past doesn't dictate your future. We've all made decisions that we wish we couldn't do. But those things don't mean we're unworthy of greatness or of stepping into our highest potential. In fact, those very experiences often shape us into someone stronger, more compassionate, more understanding, and more equipped to make a true impact in this world. Stepping into your highest potential isn't about perfection, it's all about growth. It's about embracing the imperfect, beautiful, messy journey that is you. That's all of us. If you've made mistakes, welcome to the club, but don't let them be the chains that keep you from the life that you deserve. The fact that you want to change, grow, and step into a higher version of yourself shows that you already have the heart and the strength to do it. So if you've ever asked yourself, is this for me? The answer is yes, it is for you. Remember, you are always evolving, and every step that you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to becoming the person you were always meant to be. Instead, let it fuel you and keep moving forward. I want to challenge you to think about, what is your highest potential? What shows up when you open the door to infinite possibility? And if this feels silly, then that means we're on track, because doing something different is uncomfortable. At the core of stepping into your highest potential is love. And that's why I always ask myself, what is the most loving thing that I can do? What would I love to be doing right now? What would create joy and excitement in my life? When I ask myself these questions, it's about taking personal responsibility for ourselves mentally, emotionally, and physically. It's about making choices that support the life that we want to live, not settling because it feels hard or because we don't know the way. Some of the greatest things that we can do for ourselves are hard, but don't let that stop you. The greatest change that you can make in your life is finding out who you really are and deciding who you want to be. Once you have that vision, just take the first step. It could be a choice, it could be a belief, or you just need to gather some information to move to the next step. And if you're stuck, ask for help from someone who believes in you or has the skills you need to get there. For me, my highest potential is to be the best version of myself, to serve others and make a positive impact. I believe that I can have a life that is purposely peaceful and have the dream house and a healthy, loving family and wealth and the freedom to live life on my own terms. I'll keep moving forward because that's what fuels me on this quest for inner peace. Moving toward my highest potential is the key. I have faith that before I know it, I'll be where I want to be, and I'll still be challenging myself to keep growing and expanding from a place of love. There's so much more that I want to say, but I'm just going to leave it here for now. And I'll leave you with this. The path to becoming purposely peaceful means that we are being led from within ourselves to become our highest potential. Remember, stepping into your highest potential is a process of self-trust, dreaming of what could be possible, and making bold decisions. Just keep moving toward it one step at a time. And if you don't mind, I'm off to tackle my to-do list, which might include writing that book, or maybe I'm just going to start by finding my favorite pen. In the next episode, we're tackling something that many of us face every single day: anxiety. Perhaps you have some level of anxiety, but what if the key to overcoming it isn't just about managing the symptoms? What if it's about stepping into it head on, using it as fuel for growth? Join me as we explore how to challenge anxiety, transform it, and use it as a stepping stone to live towards your highest potential. Thanks for spending a little time with me today. I hope something here met you right where you are. This podcast is for inspiration only and not a substitute for therapy. Please reach out to a licensed professional if you need support. I'll catch you on the next one.